ò mẹ́rin ò gbóhùn erin ọ̀mọ̀sà ò jíyọ̀ lọ́bẹ̀ àjànàkú kọjá mo rí nǹkan fìrí tá a bá rẹ́rìn ká sọ pé arẹ́rìn. Solocard Multiventures Limited ilé ọ̀rẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni mò ń sọ níbi káta ojúlówó kẹ́míkà àti fataláísà tí kìí ṣe yèèpẹ̀. ọ̀rẹ́ mi sọnù kí owó bá sọnù.
Ìwé kíkọ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pẹ́ o, kò ì pẹ́ o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè. Ìwé kíkọ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pẹ́ o, kò ì pẹ́ o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè.
Thank you very much. I want to welcome you all once again to our today's episode, Solocard Multiventures Limited, which we run as Solocard TV. At Solocard TV, this is where we bring you up-to-date information on how you can actually do your agricultural practices and actually make profit. We are all doing this just to help our farmers, because like we always say, if our farmers are happy, we are happy as well too. And that's why we always want to make our farmers happy by giving them tips, updates, and information that will actually help them on their farm. Because I want to believe, whatever information we are sharing on this channel, it is in one way or the other helping your farm, helping someone close to you, or helping someone around you. And that's why we will not fail to keep sharing this information such that everybody could actually get it right. Because we realize over the time, farmers should have been making millions of naira from their proceeds, because everybody is eating every day. But the fact is this, the farmers don't have the adequate information to actually do it right to make the profit. And that is why so many persons will say, I did farming, I didn't make profit. I wonder, how will you plant and people are eating and you're not making profit? Have you ever asked yourself one question before? That if everybody that is eating every day in Nigeria alone would actually give you, not even everybody, just 1 million person in Nigeria would actually give you 1 naira every day. That's 1 million naira per day. In a week, you're making how much? You're making 10 million naira. In a month, you're making how much? You're making 30 million naira. And that's how farmers should be. Because if you're producing something for people to eat, you should be making the millions of naira every day. So, but now if you're not making it, then you're not doing it right. And that's just it. And that's why we are here every day, to actually let you understand with our little knowledge of what we can actually tell you of what you can do to make the profit. Because if you're happy, Solocard Multiventures too will be happy. And that's what we're there for. So back to our seasonal episode, we are talking about dry season farming. I will be making mention of dry season farming since November. So those that have been following our episodes, and we've been talking about some things step by step on how to go about these things. We're talking about the land preparation, we talk about how to do your bed if necessary, and some other things like that. We talk about choice of seeds, we talk about how to plant, how to raise nursery, how to take care of your plant, how to nurture the plant. So if you have a good nursery stage, I will give an example. We use the baby as an example there on one of our episodes, talking about that when you give birth to a newborn baby, if you feed the baby very well, the baby will look healthy and be growing well. It's a physical example for us to know, which we all know. So these are some of the things that we want to bring to your notice, so that you could actually have an understanding of how this thing works, how to go about this thing, and how to actually achieve this result we are talking about. So on our last episode, we talked about withdrawal of the pest control, we talked about fungi control, and some other things like that. Because at the moment now, that is the major challenge you'll be having in the field, pest control. And the second thing is water. We all know that this period is dry season. Infiltration rate is very high. Evaporation rate is very high. What do I mean by infiltration and evaporation rate? The rate at which water is being lost into the atmosphere by sun, and the rate at which water is being lost into the soil by downflow is very high now, because the whole ground is dry. and thereby we need to make sure that adequate water is available for our plants. Because by the time you are supplying 1 liter of water to your plant in rainy season, maybe towards end of rainy season, and now it's quite different. If you supply 1 liter of water to a particular plant, you have to be rest assured that the plant might not get up to 5 mil or 10 mil, as the case may be, because the ground is so hot that they will absorb the water. The sun is so high that it will evaporate the water. So this is one of the things that is causing problem on the farm. Farmers will be like, we have irrigated our farm, but the farm is not doing very well. The thing is the volume of water you are supplying to that particular plant per time is not enough. You need to increase the dosage. And today we are here to talk about how you can actually take care of your plant even on the field this time. The first thing we talked about was the pest control. Secondly is water supply. Now is the nutrients. At this period, you need to actually make nutrients readily available for your plants very well in order to sustain them. And I'll give you an example. If you are feeding a baby, if you give the baby the required meal that contains the nutrients the baby needs, you will see the effects in the performance of the baby. I'm sure you understand that. So now, why I'm only likening this thing to baby or to human is so that we can easily understand what we're trying to say. So the same thing happens to our plants. Our plants are our baby that we are trying to nurture. We are trying to grow them. We are trying to bring them up. So if you give that plant the adequate water needed, if you give that plant the required nutrients in adequate proportion, the plant will be very healthy. This period, it is obvious that some farms will be having challenges with their plant performance in terms of fruiting, flowering, or also vegetative growth of the plants. Now, what I want you to understand is this. For your plants to vegetatively grow well this season, you need to actually give it nutrients and enough water, unlike rainy season. Let's get it different. In rainy season, you know there's enough water. The enough water will help the plant to actually be doing well. Due to, even when you add little nutrients to it, the plant will still be doing well. But in this season, it's not vegetatively grow well if there's not enough nutrients available for the plant, because there is not enough liquid to actually help the nutrients to dilute continuously. Please get that point. When there's enough water available for the plant and you supply nutrients, the plant takes up the nutrients very well, and as it's releasing the nutrients, it's taking it. As releasing the nutrients, it's taking it. But what will make your nutrients to be releasing continuously, that is the availability of water that's available at the environment where the nutrients is being applied, and to the plant to transmit the nutrient from the point it's being applied into the plant. You could rest assured that if you put nutrients on the ground, for instance fertilizer, let's say NPK, now you put it on the ground, and you put it on the ground, you know, and there's no water to dilute it, the NPK remains there redundant. It will not help the plant. It is just like when you have a car and there's fuel inside, and you now sit there inside the car, and the car should carry you to where you're going to. Without igniting the car will not move. Though the key is with you, the fuel is there. But if you not ignite the car and engage the gears, it will not go anywhere. The same thing is when you apply NPK, nitrogen or nutrients into the soil, and there's no water to dilute the nitrogen or to dilute the NPK that applied to the soil. And the same water is the medium to connect it to the plant. When the water is not there, the plant don't remain redundant there, and the plant remains redundant, the nutrients you apply to the ground remains redundant there, and the plant will be suffering even while the nutrient is just lying beside it there. So what I'm trying to say now, how you apply it, when you apply it, is a very important thing you need to know. When you're applying your fertilizer, please take notes. There must be moisture available around that plant to help dissolve the fertilizer and also help connect it to the plant. I'll go over that again. When you're applying your fertilizer this period, it is assured that when you're applying your NPK, whatever you're applying in this season we are, you're not going to put it at the base of the plant. It will be at some meters of distance away from the plant, minimum of 5 cm. It can either be 5 cm, 6 cm, 7 cm, or 8 cm, or 10 cm as the case may be, away from the plant. Please take note. But there must be water applied. Is that water that will actually help the nutrients to dissolve and also connect the nutrients to the plant. So in some cases, some places say, we apply nutrients. When I visited a farm, they said they applied NPK, the NPK did not work, the plants are dying, the plants are not, they're not even producing well, they're doing well. When we got there, we realized the fact that the nutrients was applied truly, but there was not enough, water wasn't getting to where the nutrient was to actually dilute the nutrient and connect it to the plant. Have you seen it now? They've actually spent money to buy the nutrient. They've actually spent money on labor to apply the nutrient. They've actually spent money even on the plant, but the connecting medium was not made available, which is the water, to dissolve the nutrient and also connect it to the plant. So please take note of all these things. These are some of the things that farmers are doing, that they are wasting money. Like that particular farm now, the plant actually went down because the nutrient was not getting to the plant at the time it needs to get to it, and the plants were dying. Now, the farmer has spent money on the fertilizer, the labor, the input, the seed, everything. But then they did not get any result. Now, do you know what tell me they've not spent money? They have. But just one small thing that could actually link them to their success was not made available. And that was a challenge. Because they did not provide enough water that will link the fertilizer to the plant. So with just simple thing, it ruined the whole farm. It was as funny as that. So please, want you to take note of these things. These things that can actually give you the best result on your farm, they are not information that are far from you. They are information that they are around you. So it's how to use them, harness this information together that will give you that result. That is what you need. And that's why Solocal Multiventures Limited is just trying to bridge the gap between us, the usage of your input, and the output you're actually expecting. And that's why we are bringing to your notice on a weekly basis some information that will actually help your farm. As little as it may seem, so many persons watching me at the moment might be facing the same challenge in their farm. If you apply fertilizer to your plant and you feel that the plant are not responding, check the way your workers apply these things. Check whether water is getting to the fertilizer, especially this period. Because if water is not getting there, the fertilizer will not do anything. It's just be lying down there fallow. So please take note of all these things, how you apply them. Even when you apply them, it's also very important. Fertilizers are needed at number one, at the early stage of your plants. Number one, to help them have good vegetative growth. Because if they don't have good vegetative growth, they cannot produce healthy fruits. Please take note. They cannot produce healthy food. It is just like a mother that is pregnant and she's not eating healthy foods. No, when a woman is pregnant, the doctors tell them eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat some other things that they used to tell them. Though I'm not a woman anyway. But the reason is this, so that the baby inside will be very healthy. So when you see a woman that is feeding well when she's pregnant, when she gives us a baby, the baby will be very weighty, looking fresh. But a woman that is not eating healthy when she's pregnant, the baby will not be very weighty, the baby will be looking small kind of, which will require the woman to breastfeed the baby adequately and more. I'm only saying I'm just saying, I'm not breastfeeding a baby before, but that will be required. I feel that will be required to actually help the baby to boost up the immune of the baby and make the baby very healthy and strong. But if you could feed the pregnant woman well from the early stage, she will give birth to a very healthy baby, very heavy baby. There was one woman that gave birth one time. I want to carry the baby was very heavy. I can't carry the baby for too long. My hand was paining. I had to be changing my hands because the baby was very weighty. The same thing with your plant. If you can feed your plants very well, they will be very healthy and produce healthy fruits. For instance, if you are growing tomato, if your plants are not, tomato is not well fed at the early stage, when they start flowering, sorry, you can't get big balls. Not minding the size of the variety of tomato you buy. Because even if you buy tomatoes, seeds, and the right specification there, the right everything is there. You need to do what you need to do to actually get that result. So you can't think you are buying a tomato that they tell you a ball of a tomato should weigh 500 grams, 600 grams, and you now want to plant that tomato, you don't put nutrients. One ball will not even weigh 50 grams, or not of 600 grams. It will not weigh, because you need to give it the input it required for you to actually get the output you are expecting. So the same thing is applicable to this place. But what we are here to let you understand, number one, how to apply a fertilizer. You need to be careful the way you apply your fertilizer also, such a way that, number one, the distance of applying the fertilizer should not be too far from the plant and should not be directly at the base of the plant. There was a particular farm that they came to our office one time, and the fertilizer we bought for me is not good. The fertilizer killed all our plants. You know, it was a big case. So we're like, fine, let us go to your field and see. How did you apply fertilizer? Let's see the reaction in your field. This is not our first time of selling this fertilizer. On getting there, we realized the fact that the person had applied NPK directly to the root of all the tomato on about 5 hectares, which would not work. That's improper. when you are applying NPK to your plant, it should be at some distance away from the plant because it will burn the root of the plant. Because when NPK is releasing, there are some gases that come out when it's releasing its nutrients. It is very hot, and the root of your plant are very succulent. And when the gases attack the root of the plant, it fries the root of the plant. Then the plant will start wilting. Initially, those people came to us and said, the plant are wilting, maybe it's bacterial wilt, it's fusarium wilt. We're like, are you sure? Later, they said this fertilizer is bad. They said the fertilizer is contaminated. It's not a matter of contamination, it's a matter of how you apply it. The truth be told, when we got to the field, we saw the thing, I told them, this is how you apply it. To some of them, that the fertilizer was at some distance away from the plant, they were still standing. Because how do we know? We saw the residue of the fertilizer where they were dropped. So this is one of the things we want to take note of. Please, and also when you are using manure, the same procedure applies to manure. Do not pour the manure directly at the base of the plant, except you have applied the manure into the planting hole before. You cover it, like we talked about it when we're doing land preparation. You cover it with soil, then it's on top of the soil you now transplant your nursery or whatever you're planting, such that when the plant is growing, as the nutrient is going down, gradually it's touching the nutrient and it's helping the plant to grow. That will not affect it because the nutrient has been in the ground, it has been neutralized to some extent, thereby releases nutrient that is toxic to the plant, which will not make the plant to be affected. So these are some of the things we need to take note of. And also we need to let you understand the fact that there are some fertilizers that are also needed to be sprayed on the plant, and that's why they are called foliar fertilizer. Foliar fertilizer are fertilizer that are sprayed on the plant. That's what the foliar is attached to it. Some people will buy foliar fertilizer and be applied to the base of the plant. It will not do the job. Please take note, it will not do the job. Foliar fertilizers are meant to be sprayed on the plant because they will help the leaf to photosynthesize well. The essence of you using foliar fertilizer to spray on the leaf is to help your plant to photosynthesize very well and fast. So that's the essence. So if you are using foliar fertilizer, spraying your foliar fertilizer at the base of the plant, it is wrong. Please take note, they are meant to be sprayed on your leaf. And if you are growing vegetables, foliar fertilizer is very necessary because it will help your plant to photosynthesize well, which will also help your plant when they are flowering to sustain those flowers, because the flowers you are seeing are the fruit you are expecting. If there's no flower in your farm, there's no fruit. Please take note. So foliar fertilizer will also help them. So please take note of all these things and how to go about them. Now some persons might be asking, you might be thinking in your mind, what about the Venturi system, the fertigator? The Venturi system is a process whereby we apply fertilizer into the drip line to those that are using drip irrigation system on their farms. So the Venturi system is also there to help you apply the fertilizer to the base of the plant. But mind you, fertilizer that is being supplied to the plant through the Venturi system are soluble fertilizers. When I mean pure soluble fertilizers are fertilizers that dissolve totally in water. NPK does not dissolve totally in water. Urea does not dissolve totally in water. That's why they are applied basal. That's why the application are basal application. Basal in the sense that you have to go and put it by the side of the plant. Though there are different means we can actually apply this basal application anyway. We actually dissolve those NPK fertilizers in the water. We do some separation on it before we now fertigate into the system. But this is some of the things that we need to explain to you if you want to do that. It's not something you can just go and do. Else, you'll be killing your plant, you'll be damaging your drip irrigation system as well too. Please take note of that one. But there are some other pure soluble fertilizers like the potassium nitrate, the calcium nitrate, the CalMag, the DAP, the MOPs, and what have you. All those ones, they are totally dissolving in water. You can actually fertigate these ones. So these are some of the things we want to bring to your notice. Please take note. How you apply a fertilizer is very important, and is a function of how the result you are going to expect. It's a function of your next week on that farm. Because if you apply a fertilizer wrongly, your next week might be disaster because the plants will wither away. But if you apply very well, your next week might be a testimony gala because your plants will be blossoming very well. So please take note of these things, and this is what we want to bring to your notice. Always, when you're applying your fertilizer, ensure the place is irrigated first before you apply the fertilizer, and after application, irrigate the place as well. This will help the fertilizer to reduce its nutrients into the soil on time and also make it available for the plant to use as fast as possible. So please take a look at all these ones. If you have any questions or any review about what we've discussed so far, you can always drop your comment. Our information is displayed on your screen, as you can see there. You can send us a mail, send us a message on WhatsApp. We'll always reply you. So please take note of all this one. Now, someone asked a question some time ago, or about 2 days back, that it has a cucumber plant on the farm, that the cucumber plant is not growing branches, or is not looking healthy. Well, we've answered the person, but I want to bring to your notice, the nutrient is not really available for it, and there is no water. the water that the plant is having is not enough. So the plant is only managing the water it is getting, and that's why the plant is behaving like that. Please take note of that one. So the plant is not getting enough water, and that is why the plant is not blossoming very well, and the flowers are not coming out. So please take note of all these ones too. The water is not enough, the foliar fertilizer is not applied at all, which will not help to have enough flower. So please take note of all these ones, and you need to know. And to those that are growing cucumber pepper, please take note, when you are spraying pesticide on your farm, it has to be early in the morning or late in the evening. Because if you are spraying in the afternoon, you are disturbing the pollens, the bees, the pollen bees that are flying around with your pesticide you are spraying, which will affect them in pollinating your farm. And it's also dropping your yield. Because if those things don't come to pollinate your farm, your yield will be reduced. Please take note of all this information. And we want to tell you, your success is our own happiness. Because when you're happy, Solocard is happy. I want you to be happy always, so that we can be happy always. And that's why we are bringing this information to your notice. Once again, I want to say thank you very much for staying tuned to this channel. Thank you very much for choosing Solocard Nigeria Limited. My name remains Mark Oluwafemi, or your regular host on this channel, the Farm Boy. And I want to say a very big thank you to you. So, bye for now. Till we meet next week. Thank you.
Bàbá Sídí, ọ̀rẹ́ mi, níbi táyé lajú dé yìí ló tún roko àrógbá kéèké.
Wọ́n rò ó ti sú mi, mo ti fi kó tó ẹ̀mẹ́ta lọ́dún
yìí. Níbo ló ti wá ra kẹ́míkà tiẹ̀?
A ní lọ́dọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń to kẹ́míkà sí ẹgbẹ́ títì ibẹ̀ mo rà.
Ọmọ ṣe o, àgbárí bíjá tòtò kí o tò.
Kàṣà.
Sórí, o ti gbọ́n pa Solocard ń tiẹ̀. Solocard nìkan ní ta ojúlówó kẹ́míkà. Tó o bá dọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ kò sírú kẹ́míkà tó wá tó rí. Kí ni jẹ́ èpò níwájú kẹ́míkà Solocard?
Ṣé lóòótọ́? Ṣé lóòótọ́?
Òótọ́ ni mo sọ fún ọ. Wo, máa yá lọ. Mo rí gbogbo rẹ. Kẹ́míkà Solocard.
Solocard.
Bẹ́ẹ̀. Kẹ́míkà Solocard, kẹ́míkà tó dáa ni.
Solocard.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Kẹ́míkà Solocard.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Dákun ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Níbo ni iléeṣẹ́ wọn wà bí ṣọ́ọ̀bù wọn níbi tí wọ́n ti ń ta tèmi náà ti lè ra?
Amúnigun Ògùnpa náà ni.
Ògùnpa ń bẹ̀rù.
Nọ́mbà 57.
Nọ́mbà 57.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Amúnigun Ògùnpa.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Tọ́ ọ bá ti débẹ̀ ó ti rí ilé wọn báyìí. Wọ́n kàn wọ ọbẹ̀ lọ mú yìí tó wù ọ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi.
Wo àgbẹ̀ ti di rọrùn.
Tèmi ti dá lọ́dún yìí. Ṣé ọ lọ?